Hey everyone, and welcome to the next edition of the Snapchat. I'm joined every week by Cozy Snap, and this week, Cozy, I have a question for you. Did you have a chance to dive into the new Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering pre-release? Because I unfortunately could not get to a Magic event this weekend.
No, man, my brother did, so I was talking to him about it. He did the rip and play, which is always a good time. But no, it is. So I didn't grow up playing a lot of Final Fantasy. I've played them. I've played 7. I've played 3 of them, but. I actually just said on my side I was more of a Nintendo guy over PlayStation. So there's the next all-in series I'm going for is the Spider-Man one in, I believe it's September. Maybe no, September I think is Avatar, so maybe it's November. Either way, I'm all in on it. I already got like 4 collector booster boxes, but yeah, I'll definitely be picking up a couple of the Commander sets and have fun with it. But it looks good.
That's cool, yeah, because I didn't get a chance, and honestly, I've played no Final Fantasy at all. Like, I've not played any. I don't know the characters. I only know a couple of them from perhaps Super Smash Brothers. You know, the ones I actually played.
You got to know like Cloud. Cloud is like Mario.
No, I mean I have Ike is one from.
No, that's
that,
Fire
right?
Emblem.
Bruh. See, so I'm already screwed up. Like, I don't know why I opened my damn mouth. I'm like, yo, I kind of know about this because of Super Smash. I should just shut my mouth. But like, yeah, so I didn't get a chance to. I am super looking forward to the Spider-Man one. But yeah, man, I think I'm gonna pick up a commander deck, or 2. And those collector's boxes are crazy expensive. Did you say you ordered 4 of them?
No, the Spider-Man ones. Yes, dude, because it's Spider-Man. I had to. A little, dude. I can't wait. But no, yeah, they're already like $1,000 for Final Fantasy right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a little rich for my taste. But you know who also is a little rich for my taste? Well, that was a terrible transition. But let's talk about Merlin. He's got a rich beard, a rich, thick beard.
Yes.
Is he from Final Fantasy?
Merlin, is he from Final Fantasy? He's from everything, dude. No, what's funny is, fun fact, you'll see a lot of games use King Arthur's IP because it's free. So you don't have to pay anything, and it's a strong IP. So it's like one of the few things that aren't copyrighted that you can use. That's why a lot of like mobile games and stuff.
Wait, is that where Merlin's from? Because I was like, actually,
what do you mean? What do you mean? Is that where Merlin's
Marvel
from?
Character?
You don't know Merlin? Like,
no, I know Merlin obviously, but he was in Lorcana too. Like you have Merlin the goat, Merlin the snake.
Yeah,
you have all
from
these
King
different
Arthur.
versions of
When
Merlin.
I say you don't know Merlin, that's like you don't know Merlin from King Arthur Merlin.
Is that like Monty Python?
Knights at the Round Table, Alex.
I know who Monty Python is.
Do you know who King Arthur? Have you heard of him? Ever heard of that guy?
I've heard of him, but I don't know anything about him. Is that like a Warhammer series?
You're doing it again. No, okay. I saw a lot of people ask that they want me to do like a pop culture quiz with Alex, and it will be happening in a future Snapchat. You guys just wait.
For the record, I'm trolling you a bit. Obviously, I know that
you know King Arthur. You definitely don't know Merlin. I was like,
you
can't pull back from Merlin. Anyway, how is Merlin, buddy? What are your thoughts about him coming out? Where does he land? And what did we? I gave him 5. You gave him 4.5.
4.5 I went with. So for what it's worth, I really like this card. I really like playing it. Don't forget, I know we get really caught up in like the win rates of decks and the win rates of cards and cube rates and how you can rank up and all that sweat garbage that we talk about all the time. We get caught up with that. Merlin is so fun. It's a legitimately fun card to play. And the other thing about it too is that when I'm playing against someone who's playing Merlin, it feels like a fair fun. Like they're having their fun, but they're not ruining mine necessarily. They're doing their thing. I appreciate that. I think this is a very well-designed card. In fact, I'm going to say I love this card. I love this card. Even if it's, early on at least, not hitting the power thresholds that might have been expected by some people, including Cozy Snap.
I think he's a 5-star.
But
I still think he's a 5-star.
You still think he's a 5-star?
100%. Yeah, I do. I think he's great. I think 1 week of testing has not landed exactly. There's plenty of decks that he's definitely not one that can be solved overnight, number one. But I think as far as what he'll offer Snap, I think he's still a 5-star card, and I stand by it.
I'm going to tell you that you're correct. I just wanted to put some fire under your cheeks, man. That's all.
So you went up? You're 4.5, you're 5 now?
No. I'm sticking at 4.5.
Oh, okay.
I just love the card.
Yeah,
I don't think it's 5 power, perhaps yet, but I think that the card is a hell of a lot of fun to play.
Yeah, I was playing him in Nicholas Scratch coming out with the Agamotto and him. How can you not like try to get the new one cost, new and improved and spicy? That is, and what I think I think I said it like at the very beginning of our last Snapchat that I thought that this was going to be a great Wiccan deck, and it was cool to see that he was getting slotted into a lot of Wiccan play. It just naturally made sense with the curve that he provided.
He did. He is seeing some, actually the Wiccan base shell with Surge is running a 54% win rate right now, according to Untapped. And what I will say is I was actually playing, we'll talk about Nicholas Scratch when that time comes. We can even talk about him next, go a little out of order. But with Agamotto, I was actually early testing a deck with Agamotto, Merlin, and Nicholas Scratch together. And I think the thing that really stood out to me was how much better Merlin is than Agamotto.
Way better. Yeah.
Like, it's insanely better. And here's the interesting thing. Agamotto individually is way more power. He often comes out, obviously, when he's buffed, 513 or whatever. He has tremendous power potential. He's also a card that can flip board states with images of Icon. He has the Watum spell. He has good spells, good skills. Like, it is a good card, but the deck dilution sucks so much that when I was playing with Agamotto, I rarely drew Merlin. Everything else felt awkward, and the decks felt worse, despite the fact that the cards were still powerful and the effects were still powerful. When I took Agamotto out, and ultimately because I took Agamotto out, I cut Nicholas Scratch, Merlin itself was just awesome because I drew it more consistently and my deck feels like they were working better. And I'm like, damn it, Merlin is just better than Agamotto, straight up. And I don't think Agamotto is bad. I think the deck dilution is bad.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, I'm not running King Eitri to cope with Agamotto. I'm just not going to do it. And I think Agamotto needs something if Merlin's going to be this intuitive to play.
He's still doing good, too. Agamotto's stats are great and work out. But, yeah, him costing more, like, I just went through this, that I love, like, cheap cards that allow you to do a lot of different things. And that's why I think Merlin was such a winner. And Agamotto, it's like, yeah, you get a lot of power, but you sacrifice that just deck dilution, which is just such a tough thing to have, but it still works. But, you know, just committing so much more. And what does that allow ultimately Merlin to be is way more flexible than Agamotto. Agamotto's going to have more of his homes. Merlin can fit across the board. We've seen that this week, and we're going to continue to see it. But yeah, man, it's crazy that it felt like, at least for now, it doesn't feel like he's like annoyingly powerful. I think you put it right, but he is definitely capable of crazy power. Kind of like Surge. Like, Surge is annoying because you see her all the time now, but like, you're not like super pissed off to go against another Surge. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels like a card that kind of fits into just being in that good card category. But yeah, man, Merlin's been fun, and I'm excited to continue to see what continues out of Merlin and the creativity in the decks.
Oh, absolutely. Right now, he's running a 54% win rate and a 33% meta share. This is Untapped-based statistics. Since the OTA, ranks 70 towards infinite, so do keep in mind there is some bot inflation there. But I do think that we're only on the cusp of starting cooking with Merlin. And he does feel like, for what's worth, people think, well, Alex, should I get the card? Like, Cozy, should I get the card? I feel like for the $10, first of all, the season pass always represents a very good value. This feels like a really good add to your collection, in my opinion. Like, it does get an absolute pass for me from a season pass standpoint. It feels like it's worth the $10. It's a great filler card if you have holes in collections and you're trying to build meta decks, and it's just a super fun and also a super good card. So I do like Merlin a lot.
Yeah, I think so. I think this month and next month are both crazy strong cards, so you can't go wrong with them. I think next month, I think I said it when we previewed Mr. Fantastic, I think he's going to be borderline the best card in Snap. But Merlin is super strong, super flexible, and it's one that, like, even if you don't play a lot, when you do decide to play a lot, you're going to be glad you have him because he does fit, you know, across the board. So yeah, Merlin, 2 thumbs up.
I got you on that, Cozy. And we're going to skip Morgan Le Fay for a moment. We'll come back to it because I think that Nicholas Scratch is worth talking about in conjunction with Merlin and Agamotto. Now, this card, I played a lot more than I think most people. I think most people kind of passed on Nicholas Scratch, and I had a belief that Nicholas Scratch could be legit. Now, he's running, again, with bot inflation, a 51.5% win rate and a 3% popularity. That's what you call poo when you have bots also being inflated in those stats. Nicholas Scratch's stats are very unimpressive, and it also goes to show that when I was working with my Merlin decks, I ultimately cut Nicholas Scratch because I felt like I had to cut Agamotto. Nicholas Scratch, even if drawn on curve, like turn 1 Scratch, turn 2 Agamotto, or not, sorry, turn 2 Agamotto, turn 2 Merlin, you get him to 5, get him to 6. It's good, still 1-5, 1-6. But all those times you didn't draw him, he felt much worse. However, what I'm going to say is that we I still think Clea potentially could be an absolutely banger card. I'm really looking forward to that card. I'm seeing consensus being pretty low on it, so I think I might be one of the few that actually kind of wants Clea to be a banger. And if those types of cards do excel, Nicholas Scratch will excel along with it. But I could see this potentially being one that underperforms because my original expectations here were much higher, and it has not felt good in my testing.
I mean, I'm not shocked. I think I said on the Snapchat I gave it a 2, but it's a 4, and I gave it a 4-star because of where it's going to be. I think it's just early, bro. I think Nicholas Scratch is a card that's going to scale as the skill card scale, and we're getting a lot of them next month. We're going to continue to get them, and we knew this. Like, we knew that he is one that will continue to get better. Merlin was definitely a nice addition to him, and you do have Agamotto and stuff. There's just not enough out there for him yet, right? Bad example, but if Scream had 4 less cards that moved it, she wouldn't be Scream that she is today. Still a very strong card. The stealing aspect is broken. But beyond that, it feels like Scratch's days are ahead of him. And we kind of touched on that. I gave him low ratings now, but in the future, I do like him. And he's definitely not one of those, like, he's going to age like fine wine. But more specifically, he has to because he's the one cost that's going to fuel that new kind of new archetype.
Yeah, I think my notes, and I think I said it out loud, was it's a 4-star card in the future, is I believe exactly what we had said. And for what it's worth, Cozy, I'm going to disagree with that point. I think you can get a bottle of fine wine and you can put Nicholas Scratch label directly on it. It has to age well. Like, it has to, right? Like, there's no way it doesn't. Like, they're going to commit to these skills, aren't they? I mean, they're committing now, but in the future, I'm sure they will.
Yeah, he's gonna definitely get better over time, and skill cards they're going heavy. This season, next season, I think they're going to definitely lean into it.
You age cheese, right? So is he going to age more like cheese or age like wine?
Both.
So you have the cheese with the wine.
He's a perfect pairing.
All right. Perfect pairing to, I guess, all the skill cards we'll be getting in the future. But Morgan Le Fay, Cozy. Morgan Le Fay, sorry, man. I couldn't come up with a good transition there. We're talking about cheese and wine. I got all messed up, man. I don't know. I got to work on my transitions, obviously. But Morgan Le Fay, the waifu, the absolute waifu, statistically, Cozy, not doing great. Running a 52% win rate at a 5.8% meta popularity. Again, this is ranks 70 to 100, so you do have some bot inflation there. And its top performing deck, believe it or not, is literally just a Khonshu deck with Morgan Le Fay slammed in it. Which is like, fine, I guess. It's okay. But it's like not really the intention. It's like, well, you just may as well just play Airsham with her, I guess, and just like, you know what I mean? It's not the spirit of the card. I think that's really
I was kind of sad
utilized.
to see that the zoo build. It was cool. It was fun. And I actually thought it was like what we said with the ancient one, where it's like there's uber competitive, then there's decks that can be competitive, but they're fun, and then there's just fun decks. I think it was that. I think it was like it could win. It could definitely win, but it did struggle on certain ways. But if there's one card that like I think is just like a me card, I think it was a good time, was Morgan.
You know what, man? So Morgan Le Fay stressed me out so much. I was legit so nervous about this card. So I'm like, I need to cook, man. Because I didn't want people just to be like, oh, just throw it in a random discard shell and see what happens. I wanted legit to make some magic happen. And so I cooked a deck, which honestly, I was really successful with. I was playing some, there was one of those hot locations. So I was playing Conquest and stuff like that. We were doing a great job, man. We were crushing. I'm going to read the list out here. I called it Morgan Le Monkey. And the idea around this list was like, you could Morgan Le Fay, get some action there, but also you had secondary lines with bounce. So I was running cards like The Hood, Silver Sable, Rocket Raccoon, and Nico Monaru. Those 1-drops are tremendous scalers for the amount of demons you get. Silver Sable obviously doing the infliction plus the scale, Rocket Raccoon for pure energy, and Nico with the doubling effects either to a card or itself could be potentially fantastic. I also had Joaquin Torres Falcon, who I think could really amplify those cards, especially as a 2-drop, Black Swan, Falcon, and then you had the destroy package of Firehair and Killmonger, alongside Hitmonkey as a closer, Morgan Le Fay, and Misery. So the whole idea was, can you get these 1-drops to just repeatedly repeat their effects, right? You got the Torres Falcon, you got the Misery repeating the effects. You also have the Firehair repeating the effects. Everyone's repeating everything all the time. Your opponent really can't like anticipate what you're going to do. This deck was a lot of fun. But the thing is because of Morgan's 4 cost, you needed very specific lines to work for her to even feel playable. which made me wonder, what do you do with this card? I shouldn't say that. I never played Morgan on turn 4, and I played hours of Morgan. I only played her ever on turn 5, and it made me wonder, is this the kind of card that would benefit from being less expensive so it can feel tighter, like you can sneak it into a combo line as a 3-drop, the way Torres went from a 3 to a 2, or is it better if it's just straight up 5, which is where you're going to play it anyways, and it has way better stats to accommodate the amount of setup required? Morgan, as it stands right now, gets an absolute pass from me. Despite the fact I did my absolute best to cook something that could work, it just felt like too many hoops to jump through for its effect.
I would love a 3-cost Morgan with even +2 power. I would love that. I think that to me, that's what it feels like, but also you could go the other way too. You could go with the 5-cost with more, but again, I feel like with just where she works in with discard and destroy and even the Zoo Cook builds, like for me, it's the cost issue. But yeah, you're right. Right now we're playing her on 5 because that's where it's just working out to play her. But I feel like, man, I don't think they ever would make her cheaper, but I like Morgan's future. I do. I think I overrated her though. I think I gave her like a 4.
You know what? I don't remember. What do we rate her?
3.5,
I think I was
maybe?
pretty... No, you landed 3.5. I landed 3 on Morgan Le
Okay.
Fay.
All right.
So
That's fair.
I think she could sell it. Oh, man, I don't know if she makes it as a 3. I think she might feel more in like the 2.5 range right now. Like, that's my opinion. But like, the effect is so good. Listen, when you get that pop off, it's so good. The only challenge is she so much just comes out like, or you don't draw Misery, or you don't draw Killmonger, or like the line doesn't work. It just doesn't work. The whole deck dies. Like, it just falls apart in a way where it's like, well, now I'm doing nothing. You know what I mean? And that's why I tried to add Beast and Falcon, so you at least have that secondary bounce line to generate power, which I did rely on to win games. Morgan was cool, but it felt like a lot of hoops to jump through. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's fair to say, too, there's so many cards that came out this week. Like, she was probably the least tested, or at least amongst the least tested. So we'll, continue to see her develop. But yeah, I think she's going to be ending up more like 2.5 range.
And Jennifer Kale also came out, which nobody cares about, at a 2% meta popularity and a 48% win rate. Cozy, you and I came in really low on this particular card, and I don't know if you're surprised. I'm definitely not. It is not doing great. I came in at 2 stars. You came in at 2.5. Jennifer Kale, are we sleeping, or is this card just not really that impressive?
Nah, the only place I thought was fun was Galactus, but besides that, yeah, that was about it. Like, it just, there's always like, why not just play anything else? Almost is what it felt like a lot of the time with her. So she just feels like not needed. Definitely. Like, that's just my ultimate review of her. Just a card that's not needed. If it never came out, if I never got her, I'd be okay.
I think it's a fine Series 4 release because this is not the kind of card that could have held its own as a Series 5. Like, this is the card of the week type thing. The way Mercury, I think, could have. But Jennifer Kale definitely underperforming on these first initial days of testing. But then again, there's some people that might not have even had her up front. Cozy, that's going to take us to our next topic of conversation, which is, are we getting too many cards in Marvel Snap? Last week, Cozy and we talked about how we had 10 cards to talk about, and surprise, surprise, it wasn't even 10 cards that was released last week. It was 12 cards that was released last week due to, well, we'll just say a couple of malfunctions with the Snap Pack system. But 12 cards in a single week? 12 cards for not a single week, 12 cards for this whole month. Is it too many cards, Cozy?
Yeah, I think that's a tough question to answer, and especially get tossed to it. I would say no with the cards that we got this time around. Now, like, if we get 10 cards and they're all extreme, like, think about Jennifer and Morgan Le Fay. Like, some of these were a little bit more on the niche side. Like, Merlin was a big hitter, but it's like, when this continues to go down, like, looking ahead, I was looking at some of those. I'm like, that's where it's like, man, it's going to feel like Fantastic Four is a great example because a lot of them synergize with each other. And if there's like 7 that you truly need to make that thing work, it's like, it's going to feel like you're always playing an inferior version. So that can feel bad. It's a lot of cards though, man. It's definitely a huge bump up from what we had. I mean, if this was in the spotlight days, good God almighty.
The concern that I have is that I feel like the release of 10 to 12 cards in a given season is diagnosing the wrong problem. I don't think Marvel Snap's decline, which I know is being felt across a couple different segments, I don't think it should be attributed to, oh, we're not releasing enough cards. It's not the problem, right? That's not the problem. So releasing more cards in anything, might actually exacerbate the problem of the hamster wheel effect, where people feel like they can't keep up. Because if you think about it, you got the season pass card, which is great. I actually love it this month, but still $10. Call it what it is. It's $10. $10 American, by the way. And that American dollar, it's stretched depending on where you go in the world, man. Here in Canada, it's like basically an extra $4 to get that. But then you have 5 Series 5 cards in this season. And whether or not you're getting the, you're using tokens or using the packs, that's 25,000 tokens to 30,000 tokens, depending on the method of which you're using to access them. Then now you have 4 Season 4 cards. That's 10K tokens or 12K if you have to use your tokens. You have the 2 event cards as well, right? So you got the 2 event cards, and those should be free, which is great. But if you can't finish the events or you go on vacation or whatever, those are Series 4. So you're going to be paying 5 to 6K tokens for the 2 together, right? Because they're 2,500 each or 3K with tokens. All in all, you're looking at somewhere, if you're getting everything just kind of using the snap packs the cheapest way possible, 35K, and you get the 2 for free. Or now suddenly you're at 48K if you have to use tokens for everything and you don't get the event unlocks. 48K for a single month to stay collection complete is insane. And it makes me nervous. It makes me nervous because I feel like it's something that could really turn players off. And that's kind of where my concern is, Cozy.
Yeah, I think it just depends, like, how much you play, how much enjoyment Snap gives you. You got to look at that. I never want to tell people how you spend your money. Like, if people get Starbucks every day, it's like, do it, whatever. And if you play Snap and it costs you $120 a year to play the whole every month with every season pass card and getting a good majority of the cards, but you're playing it all the time, it's probably a great, use of your money, considering Mario Kart's $80. And, who knows how long you play that, right? So it's all relative of how much, all card games are super expensive. I think Snap's way too expensive. I mean, that's just something I've always been pretty adamant about. But there's also a lot you could play with it. You don't have to be collection complete, let's face it. But also, if you play it and you're that invested, then it's that weird intrigue because you get the season pass card, so you're already invested. And then it's like if you invested that much, well, you might as well try to be collection complete. And then that's where the hamster wheel comes in. So it's a tough call because, like, playing Magic, certainly I'm never going to own all the cards. Never going to even try to, right? But, like, because it's Snap, it's such and the other thing is Magic, to keep the card, like physical card games, you keep the cards. That's obviously a big difference. But I think it's just the value of what it brings you. And if it's causing you anxiety or whatever, or just like you're having less of a good experience by trying to chase it, then don't do it. And I think it's bad. So I think it's a tough call. I'm not there yet. Obviously, like, this is what I do for a job a bit. But even, like, I'm able to, like, level my feelings. I'm not quite there yet where it's just like, this, like, I can never catch up hamster wheel feeling. But I certainly can understand, depending on how you play Snap. If any of this makes sense, it's how much is Snap doing for you per month? How many hours are you putting into it? How much do you enjoy it as a game? That's how you can kind of level out what it takes to get there. I guess that's not even the question, but that's just something that was on my mind.
No, I think that everything you said is absolutely valid. I think the concern that I have is that when I hear of people leaving Snap or, it losing players or not being as popular as it used to be, first of all, every single game goes through a life cycle, right? And that's one thing I want to see. People go, Snap's dying. Every game's kind of just dying all the time. You know what I mean? Like, that's just kind of what games do. But in the case of Snap, obviously I love this game. Obviously, you love this game, and we'd like to see it succeed. I just have concerns with releasing that many cards because of the effect that it can have on players. And there's another side to it as well, which I certainly feel as a creator, is that, like, listen, I cook all my own decks. It's one of the most fun things I do. When I'm at work and I'm walking around and the students are writing tests and I'm making sure they're not cheating, I'm just thinking about, like, how am I going to build this deck? How am I going to do this? I treat it like a problem-solving challenge for myself every week. That's why I come up with inventive things for Morgan Le Fay and stuff like that. They might not always hit, but sometimes you get the bullseye deck, which is a hit, right? Like, and that's cool because, like, that's what I love about the game. But at the same time, you also, when you're releasing 12 cards in a season, cards don't get a chance to breathe. Cards don't get a chance to, like, have their chance in the meta. The meta doesn't get a chance to settle. I don't want to say settle because that's a bad or negative attribution. But, like, you have OTAs, you have 12 cards coming out. Think about Lasher and Doxy. Lasher and Doxy barely saw play, and I'm going to say barely got tested before they, last year's different because of Cerebro, but Toxie, even though it needed a massive buff, I'm telling you right now, saw almost no play. No one really gave it a shot because it came out at a time where there was so much other stuff happening. Jennifer Kale, I couldn't care less about Jennifer Kale's release. I don't think it's a good card anyway. I just don't care. And because I don't care because there's so many other things I'd rather play, I'm just not going to test the card, and it's going to just languish because of that. And think about how long Thanos, on the original release, we joked about it. We went through the kind of backwards thing. Thanos sat as a underappreciated and underutilized archetype for months until it popped off and went absolutely crazy with Thanos Lockjaw. And so, there are so many cards coming out. None of them have a chance to breathe, and I just don't think that's great for the game.
Yeah, I think, this is one of the few card games that don't have boosters, and you get a bunch of bad cards and a couple good ones. So as long as they continue to be cards that are unique and playable, but that's where snap packs is pros and cons, because you can't avoid a Morgan Le Fay. If you pull her, and then you have that card in your collection at that point, right? So I just want filler to fill that up. I think the biggest thing to look out for is less people play the game, so they're gonna have to more cards are coming so that they can get more from the people that play the game. How mobile games work, which is what Snap is that, and I've seen life cycles of numerous examples. What you don't want to see is them squeezing what they do have out of the player base now, because that's on one vein they have to do it because that's how they keep the lights on, right? But in the other vein, it's even more evidence of a showing of a game going down the drain, right? And we don't want that either. So it's at the end of the day, I've seen this song and dance, and a lot of it is, whether it's Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, which is a hero collector, it's the same thing. And then new upgrades come out for those heroes. And the people that are invested are going to pay to stay at the top and stay. It could be a slippery slope, and I would hate to see that happen here.
What I would invite is, those that are listening and watching, leave some constructive feedback down below for Second Dinner. And if you're watching Second Dinner, guys, take an opportunity here to take a look at what people are saying, how they feel. Let them know on Discord, because obviously this is the first season this has happened. They also had a bit of a surprise with obviously the 2 cards that got released by accident. But most certainly, guys, leave them with the feedback, because if you're feeling stressed or if you love it because now you get to cook even harder, let them know, because obviously we want this game to be successful, and your feedback is going to be immeasurable in kind of them ironing out this system. And we're talking about ironing, Cozy. We need to iron out my culture references, because in the Snapchat mailbag, my gosh, Cozy, we had a number of questions where just, man, some of these aren't even questions. And we're going to start with the first one from Dougmond, which said, Gandalf and Dumbledore are not played by any of the same actors in anything. I understand Alex saying that he has media blindness, but he said it twice and Cozy just rolled with it. And then Cozy later did respond to that exact message saying, well, sometimes you just got to let Alex believe.
Yeah, guys, if I stopped Alex every time he said something, we would not get through a lot of subjects. So I got to sometimes it's not worth the fight or the minutes, because then we're 4 minutes deep, and then I'm walking through actors, and you've never heard of them, and then we got to, so sometimes you just got to let a peacock fly, and I let Alex is my peacock.
I do appreciate that. For the record, man, I totally thought they were the same.
Oh, I totally knew you did.
No idea, dude. Oh, but listen, I might not have been the only one. So anyways, that's something worth noting. And we also had someone step in, Darth Shadow, with a little bit of information for us. At the aforementioned hookah conversation, Alex, hookah consists of tobacco leaves that are flavored with different molasses. For an example, mint, blueberry, and etc. It has much less nicotine than cigarettes, so you don't get the same rush. It's more of a chill thing. You smoke for an hour.
Yeah, there you go. Brought to you by Hookah Incorporated.
Yeah, the more you know.
Yeah. So you haven't been to a hookah lounge? I think I've been to a couple back in my youth.
So, quick story. My wife and I, we lived in an area where this brand new hookah place was. I don't know the exact region of the world where it originates from, so I don't want to sound ignorant to that. But we went in. And I'll say we stuck out. People are kind of did the whole, we walk in the door, they're kind of thing.
You
I was all right, this place looks cool. Everyone had these huge, they looked like massive bongs. They're huge, right? I was I don't know what these things are. I sat down, I'm you guys do dinner and stuff, right? They're yeah. And honestly, we got some naan bread stuff. Oh, so good, dude. It was so good. The food was so good. But I had no idea what the hell was going on. People were smoking all this stuff. The whole place smelled like strawberries. I don't know if I was going to, I don't know if it was crazy secondhand smoke or whatever. But I walked away impressed, and this place had Christmas lights all year round.
Move on.
Why are you laughing? That's
No,
awesome,
it's
dude.
great.
I love
no,
that.
This is great. This is a great story. Do hookah, kids, is what Alex is trying to say.
And Austin Cantu, in similar conversations like this, said, I love how Cozy shrinks when he gets tired throughout the Snapchat.
I stayed up this time. I feel sick as a dog, and I stayed up this time. I made sure I was cracking up, man, because I saw like top comment. It was like Cozy's going down the further the episode goes, and if you take the scrub bar and you just pull it from left to right, I just like gone. I didn't even know I was doing it too. I think I was just barely hanging on there. And Mike Pillow. I'm glad people appreciated the Mike Pillow shipping comments. I saw you.
Dude, I thought it was absolutely hilarious. For me, I thought it was absolutely hilarious. And everyone's like, oh, you should guys do more late night episodes. I'm like, guys, first of all, right now, I feel absolutely energized. It's still super late on anyone. Like, it's almost like what? Oh, close to midnight here, 11:30. Like, guys, this is crazy, right? Like, it's so late for us as it is. For the average person, I don't want to keep recording at 3 a.m. just because it's more funny.
Oh, I do. I love.
It's 1 a.m. for you, bro.
I love the middle of the night. I love the middle of the night episodes. Those have always been the best. Every single time we're always like, man, I think people are gonna hate this, and it's always the opposite reaction.
We have 2 more quick questions here that we can get through, and the first is from Noel, who says, hello, I know that Marvel works with second dinner. If Marvel called you to play yourselves, which film or show would you want to be in? Now, Cozy, I know that's the one that kind of hits you on the spot here. So I would like to say I'd like to voice act in What If I could. I feel like that's a good starting point. If I had to say, I bet you I could sneak in somewhere as like a Daredevil extra or some random character like who gets shot or something in Daredevil. That probably makes the most sense. And if I had to pick you, Cozy, I would say that I could see you being a reporter in a segment. Like kind of like someone on a TV being like, New York is on fire and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? I think I can see you doing that.
I appreciate it. Have you seen the Doctor Strange when he's in the church and the lady behind him is an extra and she's trying everything she can to not look at the camera? Have you seen this thing?
No.
You got to see it. It's one of the best moments of the MCU. I want to be her. I want to be an extra that's like, you have like Captain America and Iron Man talking and I'm right behind them. And I'm just like, that's what I want to do. That feels good. That's my mark. And then I can have like a YouTube video where I have like a red circle and there's me blurred out in the back and I'm like, I made it. Tell 10-year-old me I made it. And then that would be it.
That is genuinely incredible.
Big
I like that.
aspirations.
I also like that we're being realistic. We're like, Cozy's not like, I'm going to be the next Iron Man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like we're
right.
being realistic with how we're going to break into the MCU here. And talking about breaking into the MCU, I don't know if I can do it with comments like this. We recorded one of my absolute favorite podcasts we've done in a while last week, and somehow the top voted comment was, is Alex using lipstick?
Was it really?
Top voted comment was
Are
Alex using lipstick. And here's the thing. I even told my wife, I'm like, yo, like, seriously, Cozy and I record in the middle of the night. It's so much funny stuff. It's a great episode. And the top comment is if I'm wearing lipstick.
People pay good
She's
money
like-
for those red lips.
She's like, are you? I'm like, what? I showed her the video. She's like, you do look like you're wearing lipstick. Are you? I'm like, no. I'm like, I got chapstick. I got a pink one, but it doesn't come on pink. I got an orange one. This is the one I usually use. She's like, your pinks, you do look like you're wearing lipstick, Alex. Like, they're right. I'm like, damn it, what do I do? Do I fix the lighting? Do I get a new camera? I'm not wearing lipstick. I don't know why it looks like I do. I want to apologize to everyone who thinks I'm wearing lipstick. I'm not wearing lipstick, but if I was, who cares?
Alex wearing lipstick is confirmed.
It's confirmed. As is the end of this podcast. We appreciate each and every one of you guys, and we'll see you on that next one.